Good morning, everyone. This is not my weekend homily. It's April 15, and I have a funeral for Dr. Ed Todd at Christ the King this morning, and for his family, this is the homily that I am going to give. And the reading that I'm quoting is the first reading, Wisdom 3, 1-9. The souls of the just are in the hand of God. Ed was not just a man, but in a sense, I think Ed was a Renaissance man. Oh, not in the exact same sense as Leonardo da Vinci, but Ed was a man who had many talents and much interested in people. A family man, a professional man, a farmer man, and a man with a multitude of friends. And finally, and I think the most important, Ed was a man of deep faith, a family man, a great husband, a wonderful father. Ed was in a marriage with his wife, Marilyn, and his children for over 50 years. He loved them, and it showed. His children, niece and grandchildren, and so forth. If you don't believe that this was one big happy family clan, just go to their house and look at the many pictures that they all have when they assemble together. Many great happy times. And this group is a bunch of good-looking kids and people with much talent. I'm sure Rachel will always and give this more to this in the homily. In the eulogy. A family man. He was also a professional man. Professional and respected as a doctor, both at the University of Kentucky Medical Center and St. Joseph Hospital. I'm sure Dr. Carol Cottrell in the eulogy will enlighten us in this area. A professional man. A farmer man? Now, that's one I have a hard time comprehending, that Ed was not only a good doctor or surgeon, but he was a farmer man. Well, until I recently at their house saw the many pictures of Ed and Marilyn and their kids and their grandkids and so forth at that farm. A farm camp for the grandchildren. He and she made many occasions when all these people would get together and celebrate life, their family life, and their love. But I still have it difficult to understand how can this delicate surgeon hands drive a tractor. A farmer man. Ed was a man and a friend of multitudes. Not just in his family, which is large, and not just with two large institutions, St. Joseph and the medical center, but in a multiplicity of areas where he got involved. Lexington Catholic, Habitat for Humanity, assisting better living, and repairs for the elderly, and it goes on in many missionary trips. His personality, his friendship was productive and multiple. But best of all, at least in my opinion, I found Ed really to be a man of deep faith. With deep faith in God and in Jesus Christ. Growing up and practicing as a Methodist, and only about 4 years ago, he joined the Roman Catholic denomination or tradition. In both of those religions in all of his life, I think he was a man of deep faith. And finally, in these last 2 years, his faith, I think, grew leaps and bounds. Most of you people here know that when he got this Lou Gehrig's disease, he wasn't expected to live for his 50th wedding anniversary. So they had a great big party over at Sal's on their 49th wedding anniversary because he wouldn't be here for the 50th wedding anniversary, accepting death before the 50th. Takes somebody of deep faith, at least in my mind. And lo and behold, he didn't die, and he was around for the 50th. So guess what? Well, they had another big party at Sal's for the 50th. And he was very coherent, talkative, and alive, but still with this terrible disease, which really takes deep faith, I think, to shoulder and to manage it. Well, in the last year, almost a year, I guess, almost monthly, I would go over to Marilyn and Ned's house, and we would have a home mass, a dialogue homily, and there'd be one or two or three other people there with them, their friends. And I don't know if it was Marilyn or who, but they said, "Now look, Larry, Ed can't talk very much. He doesn't say too much." Well, I guess they said that so I wouldn't talk too much and say too much. But Ed talked a lot. And it wasn't just insignificant talk. It's about life, and it's about faith, and it's about Jesus Christ, and it's about his family. And it was about facing death. You know, it's a real blessing for me to encounter people that, in my judgment, they have deeper faith than I do. And he was one of them whom I admire. Not only he, but I think she, Marilyn. And so we did these for a year. Well, it was just this week that I was going to call Marilyn and said, "I think it's time for a mass." And then boom, Sunday morning, he died. It takes a lot of faith in Jesus Christ and his promises to really live through and work through this terrible disease. Ed was one of them. I think in a real sense, he was a Renaissance man of deep faith. And finally, one idea. I didn't find out that Ed died until early Sunday afternoon, when he died in the morning. And I was talking with Marilyn and asking her some of the details. And her answer, I just thought, was classic. Well, we were talking about the time, and I think she said something that it was between 5:30 and 7. But she didn't say Ed died at this exact hour or minute. She told me on the phone, Ed went to the Heavenly Father at this time. Isn't that nice? Really, if you examine that, Ed went to God at this time. It's really our belief. There's 5 words or so in this liturgy of the funeral, and it's at the preface. And I just think those 5 words or so is what Marilyn was saying. And those 5 words is, not death. Life is changed, not ended. Ed changed and went to heaven between 5:30 and 7, I believe. May he rest in peace. A Renaissance man filled with faith. Have a good day.